Whatever money I make, I can spend on whatever I want. Tell you right now, I spend my money right now on some mobile games, on some mobile games, on some mobile games. Urban style individual.
What's up with y'all? Hopefully this video finds you in good spirits, and if not, well, at least you not DSP. And I'm gonna keep it real. At first, initially, I was not gonna do this video, but Phil is so good at putting his foot in his mouth and mischaracterizing people that I felt like, you know what? I gotta speak on it. And another thing, I've been noticing on my analytics that a lot of y'all are returning viewers, but you have not subbed. Look, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear nothing. Don't make me come find you. Okay? Let's get into the video.
Even when the evidence is presented to them that everything they're saying is a lie, it doesn't matter. Right? These idiots have been saying now for what, weeks, months, that my wife left me or I divorced my wife or something. She's literally downstairs in the living room right now. I could go get her and walk her into this room. And here's what would happen. That narrative would end, and then immediately all they would do is look at her and start saying stuff about her looks, start saying fucked up stuff about what she says if she walks in here. That's all they want. They're just always looking for more and more and more ammo. So you don't give them any. That's the point. So when people say, well, when you don't address something, it must mean that it's true. No, I don't address it because it's bullshit. And if I disprove the bullshit, that's not good enough for them. They go to the next line of bullshit and the next level of harassment. So don't even address the bullshit. You just ignore it.
Well, Phil, you've been addressing the BS for years now. This is why you have detractors, because you don't understand how the troll relationship works. You always give in because you have low impulse control. Now, you claim that you could easily disprove the things that we are saying. Then do it. That's all you got to do. Now, I'm not even going to act as if he's wrong when he says that people are going to talk about Cat's appearance. Well, that's the price that you pay when you decide you want to be in close proximity to darksydephil, right? Also, Phil has gone on and on about how much greater shape he's in and how he's a changed man and yada, yada, yada. It would not look good for him if his wife came back to stream and was looking how she looked when we seen her last time.
Right? This guy is a no-load limp dick fucking loser who just got completely disproved on stream. He's acting like I'm making this up, that it's hot in here. Everyone now knows it actually really is as hot as I say in my office. Oh, well, let me move the goalpost and just make something up. No, fuck you. You're poor. You're a brokey bum. You don't have $25 to send me. That's why you would never do it. You're a bitch.
So somebody's a bitch because they don't want to give you money. Phil, you are a digital bum. You have a digital cup. You a panhandler, dude. In terms of respect levels, when you look at a society, and I'm not saying that you should be a respecter of persons, but let's be real about the human experience. People do garner more respect based on their occupations. Let's just be real about it. Now, Phil, I would say that your occupation is a beggar before I would say it's a streamer. So where do you think you fall on a societal totem pole in terms of how much people are going to respect you? I'm guessing that the answer is they're not going to respect you at all because you don't do anything that's worth respecting.
You are never going to send it because you don't have it. You probably are stealing dollars from your mom's credit card to send me these other tips anyway.
Whoever he is and however he got the money, the outcome that he was trying to get, he got. Because you had the nerve to come on here and call somebody a bum when you're sitting here begging every single day. And I say that because if any of you went right now to a gas station or wherever homeless people are or people who are in need are, and if they came up to you and asked you for money, the assumption would be they're asking you because they don't have any themselves, right? So how can you sit here and act as if you have everything in order and you just got all the money in the world, but day in and day out, you're begging as if you only have $5 to your name?
All right, cringe and has done worse than anything you've done. He really shouldn't even be relevant compared to you, in my opinion. I haven't done anything. What have I done? At all. Spent my money? Phil spent his money. Then he said he needed more money, and he spent that money.
That's a very convenient way of citing what actually happened. And he does this a lot. He likes to overgeneralize the situation, omitting the nuance, omitting the small circumstances that would actually connect this picture in a way that makes sense to other people who are not in this world, right? He wants to get to them first and tell them his version of events. Nobody cares about you spending, quote unquote, your money. What we care about is what you put forth in order to get that money in terms of what you claim was going on behind the scenes. So once again, because I've seen him oversimplify this countless times. Oh, they're just mad at me for spending my money. I can spend my money on whatever I want. Number one, you sound like a child. But number two, of course, you can spend your money on whatever you want. But don't come on stream the next day acting like you're going to lose your house because of it.
Right? Who did I ever hurt? Who did I ever go after and actually hurt? Who did I significantly harm? What horrible things and acts did I ever do on the internet?
You don't have to go after people because we know in his eyes, people who are quote unquote bad on the internet are people who are akin to like a Keemstar or somebody like that, or a Kino Casino who goes after people. But Phil, you abuse mentally delayed people every single day. And in most functional societies, we look at those class of peoples as protected peoples. There's even provisions in the law that gives you more time if you commit a crime against those people. So naturally, when we talk about protected classes in society, and people who are generally seen as vulnerable, that would be our women, that would be our children, and that would be our elderly and our mentally ill. And one of those groups you are taking advantage of. And this is why people don't respect you, no matter how much money you make, because it's not about how much money you make. It's about how you went about obtaining it.
Zero. Nothing. Nada. Zilch. And I've improved dramatically. If you look at old Phil versus now, like if you look at old school Phil, who used to be offensive and say dumb shit constantly, my shit didn't stink, above reproach, right? And you look at modern Phil, where now I've completely evolved, constantly having feedback from the live viewers, having interaction with all of you, making content that you want to see, improving the setup, improving my own life, improving everything for you guys, right?
How is you improving your own life somehow for you guys, for the audience? Phil, this is absolutely absurd. But you can tell that he doesn't really have anything to say because he know what he just said prior to this with the whole, what have I done? I haven't done anything. Even he knows that's a ridiculous statement. So I don't care how many new microphones you get or how many RGB lights you get. It still doesn't change the fact that at your core, you're a terrible person because you are actively seeking out to take advantage of people that you know you could take advantage of instead of creating a vanguard to protect them. And this is why you don't like detractors, because detractors act as a vanguard so you can't get to certain dents. Not that we know them personally, but I'm sure there's a nice group of people out there who at some point was going to support you and didn't because of detractor content.
All that stuff. That is showing distinct desire to change and improve myself over the years. And I know that that's come through in the content.
Can you name something that has been improved? I'm not talking about resolutions. I'm not talking about bit rates and kilobits per second and all that nonsense that nobody actually cares about. I'm talking about what have you done in terms of your online personality that makes you or distinguishes you from your former self? Nothing. This is why when people want to have interviews with you, they always want to talk about what you claim is drama because you're still approximating that behavior, Phil, and people want to know why. That's why, Phil. It's not that deep.
100%. You know, I'm nothing like who I used to be online at all, right? It's completely different. So take a look at the other people who, Review Tech and Boogie and Wings and LTG and this one and that one and this one. It's like, yes, but you could go and look at the stuff that they've done, right? Or said, or you know what I mean? And you could go through like laundry lists of shit. You could watch my entire 4-hour documentary by June the King, and there's nothing in there. I've had people actually reach out to me and say, I watched your whole documentary and there's like nothing in there. I don't even know why it was so long or why anyone cares about you like that.
That never happened. And Phil has made up people saying that countless times. It's almost as if it's almost in the same vein as when a longtime supporter since Heavy Rain comes and gives him a big tip. Nobody ever said, I don't know why. People know why. Okay. And you would like to try to shake the shackles of the things that you've done in the past. But like I said before, it's relevant because you're still acting like that. And people don't understand why somebody who's middle age, who's been in a certain profession for so many years, can be so bad at it and be so abrasive when people are trying to assist you at your job. Nobody benefits from taking this information in but you. So when you talk about improving in what ways, Phil? Because you're no longer doing on demand videos and you're now a quote unquote live streamer. So what? All that did was help you fatten your pockets. But what really did the audience get from that besides you cultivating parasocial relationships and then acting like you're not?
I don't know either. I honestly don't know. If it was such a horrendous thing that I've done, then why am I still here? Why, after the documentaries all come out, I'm still here and everyone likes my content and I still make a living and I still got an entire universe of orbiters around me, right?
Well, you just said that LTG and Wings and Boogie are far worse than you and they are still here. So you just undid your own point. No, nobody is saying that you should be sitting in the Bastille or in a federal prison for 25 years. Nobody's saying that. But there is a portion of the people who believe that you have not gotten what's coming to you. And I believe that you also believe that. And that's why you're so paranoid all the time. You got to sleep with one eye open because you know that you should be getting something. You just don't know when it's coming or where it's coming from.
Wouldn't it have just been Phil's done finally? I've done nothing. I've literally done nothing. All I've ever wanted to do is play games and have fun. That's it. You know, I want to leave. I literally would like to be left alone and leave everyone around me alone. That'd be great.
And the best way to do that is try to act like a reasonable person. That's all you have to do. Because the less you do, the less we have. This is a very simple equation that you keep seeming not to understand. So once again, you would like to try to act as if people are just making things up. But I can go to something on your page from tomorrow, I mean from yesterday. Matter of fact, Silk Song, you was tripping on the devs then, calling them retarded, calling them stupid. And the game before that, what game was he playing? Silent Hill F, right? He went off on the devs about that game. Now, I guarantee you I could pull up a video from 5 years ago where you were doing that. 10 years ago, 2 years. I could pull up a video from every single year you've been on YouTube and you are doing the exact same things. So once again, what really has changed besides you getting older and you begging more?
Sadly, it's not always possible, but I like the fact that when I can do that, like this year has been great. Ever since I got out of the drama earlier this year, if you haven't noticed, I've stuck to my guns. I've done all the right things and we're doing good, right? We are. I'm on an upward trajectory right now. I actually am. When it comes to playing the right games, finding the projects people like, levels of engagement and support, and people enjoying their time with me, it's going well.
There is no upward trajectory. When you look at his channel health, Phil has one of the most unhealthy channels on YouTube. And I don't really think it's close because you have somebody that have 220 something subscribers, but look at the view count on his videos. And I know he would like to say, well, I don't care about that. Well, you should. You should. It's a channel after all. It's a huge problem when less than 1% of your active sub base is actually engaging with your content, Phil. That's a humongous problem. And that's why you're not getting pushed because your ratios are so terrible.
Continue to. I lied about champions in the past, and then I finally, over a year ago, fessed up to it, and that's that.
No, you did not fess up to it. You lied again. That's what you did. You squandered an opportunity to make things right like you always do. All you had to do was say what everybody else already knew, Phil. And that would have been something in the past. And by now, who knows how people would have viewed you, what their perspective would have been. But you decided that you were going to double down on the lies because you think you're smarter than everybody. And that's always been your problem. It's the same thing with the King Snake. You really came on stream and thought people were going to buy that nonsense, dude? Do you think that we were born yesterday? Did you really think that that was going to fool anybody? The second you came out with the King Snake, everybody, and I do mean everybody, had secondhand embarrassment because we knew you didn't have enough sense to pump the brakes on the plan. You just followed through with it thinking that if I just keep lying and if I keep lying, they will eventually believe me. And you took the same position with WWE champions when you so-called sold it, right? Stop the nonsense, man.
Whatever money I make, I can spend on whatever I want. Tell you right now, I spend my money right now on some mobile games.
Now, I know I'm pausing this a lot, but Phil is really bringing out some things here that people need to pay attention to. He just said that, yes, I'm spending my money on some mobile games with a plural, with an S. I'll be very interested to see what those games are and how much he has spent, because you cannot tell me for a second that this guy is in control of himself. He is bound and ruled by his desires and his addictions. So there's no way that he's playing that game and not spending out of control like he does on WWE Champions. I guarantee you it's a similar situation. Obviously, we know WWE Champions takes the cake, but we know Phil likes instant gratification. He's not waiting behind energy having to be respawned or time. We know sometimes these mobile games like the time gate things. Phil's not waiting for that. He's going to throw money at the game. So just like he did earlier when he told dude, oh, you should go ahead and troll him all you want to. I'm not telling anybody to troll Phil, but it would be interesting. It would be if we found out what those mobile games that he's playing are.
All right, I do. I also spend money on liquor. I also spend money on food deliveries. I also spend money on anything I want because it's my money. That is stupid. In fact, the $2 super chat you just sent me is also my money. Maybe I'll spend it tonight on a mobile game. That's my prerogative. That's how life works. You send someone money, they can spend it.
Once again, this is the argument that he's trying to make. Everybody knows that if there's a transaction and you receive money from someone, that's your money. Nobody cares about that. The issue is you coming on stream for nearly a decade talking about how your house, you're going to lose your house, your family, and lose everything for reasons outside of your control. All the while, you were the WWE Champions puppet master the whole time, putting Scopely's kids through college with how much money you sent them. And then you want to come on here and brag and act like it's not a big deal, like you've never done anything wrong. You lied to people for years. You emotionally manipulated people for years. You feigned distress and ignorance when it made sense for you to do it in order to get money. And this is why people will never respect you, because generally speaking, people don't respect people who say they're willing to do anything for money. How many times have you seen a situation in pop culture or whatever, a rapper or whoever doing something stupid, and somebody say, man, that's ridiculous? And it is something ridiculous, right? Somebody say, oh, at least they got money. That's somebody who you cannot trust, because that means morally they can be purchased. Because why the first thing you talking about is money when what we talking about ain't got nothing to do with money, right? We're talking about how you've carried yourself over the years when things were good and when things were bad, Phil. Even to this day right now, you have not shaken your gambling addiction. It still very much has control over you, to the point where you've even indulged in spending money on additional mobile games. And it's like the audacity of this dude, especially considering his history with WWE Champions and everything surrounding it. This just tells you that this dude hasn't learned a damn thing, nothing, and he's not going to, as long as he has wells lined up to give him money. And what's sad about that is all that money that he's spending on mobile games, he could have been spent on doing something with his wife that he claims that he cares so much about. He could have been put things in the home that would help facilitate a healthy lifestyle for her before she ever got to the point where she looked like she could not walk through a regular constructed doorway. Now, I don't know if he's divorced. None of us do, right? All we can do is speculate. But when he comes on streams and he says ridiculous things like this, he's always constantly talking about how buff he is and how in shape he is. And then we find out that he's DMing other people. I mean, that gives you cause to pause or at least speculate based on what he's doing. So, Phil, people are not making these things up. People are going with a line of logic based on the things that we're seeing, because the brain was designed to work associatively. So you can make good decisions in a small amount of time based on what you have at the time. And so based on what people are seeing, the conclusions that they're coming to are making sense. If Kat's there, where is she? That's all I got for y'all. Peace.
Urban style content. I'm dead.